What's happening? What's happening? What's happening, folks? Coach G's back. Sorry for the layoff, but we're back with a lot of great content. Smashing the week, starting with what? HabitLand, part 1. A lot of you guys know we're speaking this weekend, New York City, Greatness Awaits Conference. If you ain't there, you got to find a way to get there, guys. I'm going to attach the link to that in the video posted on YouTube. You guys will check it out then. But we're going to break down all this week. We're going to be talking about HabitLand. And trust me, after the past 2 weeks that I've had, I got some more stuff to get you guys. Let's get these shares out. Come on, refresh. Here we go. Alright, shares are coming, shares are coming. You know you guys can help me. Share it! Couple groups here it's got to go to. Hold on, we almost done. Almost, guys, almost. Don't stop yelling at me. I hear you. One more. All right, last shares out. All right, I need my favorite part to pop up here. Ah, Brother Scott, thanks, man. You was a part of the call, dude. Look, man, I'm coming back with a vengeance right now, bruh. With a vengeance. This is like Jordan after he took off the season and then got put out the playoffs. The first round of the year he came back, and then I'm about to rim off 3 in a row. That's how we're going to rock this right now, guys. And, alright, guys, let's go ahead and get into it. Number 1, thank you guys for joining me on this Monday. Glad to have you guys here. Scott, love you like a brother. And we're going to have a great talk. We're going to have a great talk. First and foremost, I just want to thank you guys for staying in tune. I want to apologize for not being present all of last week. As you know, guys, life hits sometimes and we got to roll with it. But here's the great part. All of last week, heck, even the week before, it wasn't the best weeks, I should say, of my life. But when things like that happen, there's another part that happens. you get an opportunity that comes along with it. And guys, the opportunities that I walked away with and being able to understand exactly what's happening around me, what's happening and how this relates to HabitLand, and more importantly, how this impacts everybody else outside of me, guys. That's the real gold right now. So, I did all the mining the last 2 weeks. You guys are going to get some gold nuggets all this week. So like I said, guys, HabitLand. Part 1 we're discussing today. We're going to run this all the way through on Friday, leading up to the live feed that's going to happen with me at Greatness Awaits Conference. I'm excited for that, guys. It's a really, really big deal. Great brother named Brian Thomas liked the message and wanted me to get on the bigger stage to be able to give it out. And I'm honored. I'm humbled for it. But I really want you all to understand what HabitLand is. All right? We're going to expand this so much, guys, that you're going to start seeing HabitLand pop up all around you and you're not even aware of it. So let's go ahead and let's get into it right now and break it down. What is HabitLand? Right? That's the big question we want to start off with. Like, how do you get to HabitLand? What are the directions for HabitLand? How the heck do you get out of HabitLand? Well, here's what HabitLand is, guys. And to make this as clear as I can for you, I want each of you guys to imagine your favorite vacation spot. I don't care. Look. Even if you ain't been there yet, maybe you saw it on TV, you're like, man, I can't wait till I get there. I want you to get that picture in your head. Now, I'm pretty sure that vacation spot looks great, right? It's comfortable, it's friendly, the weather's perfect, everything's going great for you, at least you think it is. Now, I want you to picture that same environment in the worst of conditions. So, what do I mean? You're at a beautiful island right now in HabitLand. Right now, imagine it with the tsunami coming your way. You went out to maybe to Colorado or somewhere to go skiing, and now it's a huge like drought that's happening, and the sun is just melting all the snow around you. How great of a time are you having out there right now skiing if you ain't got no snow? Maybe you're sitting around and you're like at this great beach, right? And it's nothing but the rainy season every time you walk outside. I mean, these aren't the times you want to be able to go to these great vacation spots, right? Well, guys, that's what HabitLand is. You see, HabitLand is not all bad, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the good parts of HabitLand. We're going to talk about the bad parts of HabitLand today. But what I want each of us to understand is that HabitLand plays a role in every part, in every one of our lives. In every part of our lives, guys. So what do I mean by playing a role? Well, listen. Just like that vacation spot. We all need a vacation. We all deserve a vacation. We all should have a vacation. However, with that same vacation, you got to know when to go, right? You got to be clear on exactly how long you are staying. And most importantly, guys, you got to know when to leave. You see, a lot of us right now are in HabitLand, and we're out here, and we're just kind of stuck in the windows. Like, I don't know if you all can tell, it's raining outside right now. So some of you guys are literally kind of like stuck in your villa or wherever you've imagined for your vacation spot, your dream vacation, and you're looking out the window, and you're not seeing anything that is right. Like, again, you got a rainstorm coming down on the beach. You got a blizzard out here somewhere in a warm area you wanted to go to, right? You don't got any kind of the snow you need to go skiing, but some of us are still here. Like, some of us are still just staring out the window like, when you going to change? Because I don't want to leave. This is a great place to be, but it's really not. And what's hard for us is that the longer we stay in HabitLand unaware that we got to go, the harder it is for us to come out of HabitLand. You see, listen guys, HabitLand isn't something that comes up on you all at once. Like, nobody wakes up in their 20s, their 30s, their 40s, their 50s, and you're at HabitLand. This is all part of the conditioning that we have as kids. Part of the conditioning we have just growing up in our environment, in our families, with the lifestyles that we've chosen, the communities that we were raised in. HabitLand pops up all over the place. I mean, look, let's just be honest with it, right? I mean, HabitLand is good because there are parts of our life that need to operate with a habit. Habits help our lives move faster. As a matter of fact, the very definition of a habit is an automatic response to an external stimulus. So something outside of us triggers something in us to do a certain action. We all know what the alarm is for, right? External, to get our butts up. Plain and simple. let's just be real. How many of y'all really pay attention to how you tie your shoes? How many of you all are paying attention to every stoplight, all the cars that are around you? Like, when you anybody y'all ever had that call, right? Somebody calls you up a couple hours after you show up someplace, right? And they say, hey, bro, you ain't see me? I was right behind you. Dude, you ain't see me? I was on the corner you stopped at. But we did it. Because we're a part of HabitLand. Now, let's just talk about this real quick. I'm not going to kill you guys' vacation plans like that, right? Some of you guys are like, that's really messed up. You turn my vacation into the worst places possible. That's not what I'm saying. Let's break this down a little bit more. What is HabitLand good for? HabitLand has a couple pieces. It's useful. How's it useful? Well, number one is, just mentioned to you guys before. It's automatic. It's just automatic. I mean, guys, think about that. How much in your life is still just now like kind of automatic? You don't even know how it's happening. It's just happening. You get up, you drive a car, automatic. You walk up, you wake up, you walk to the bathroom, automatic. You brushing your teeth, automatic. You putting on clothes outside of deciding what you're clothes. And if you're like me, that could be so not automatic, right? But still, all of those things we know how to do. If you got kids, you got to drop them off at school. Like, there are certain things that are just automatic. Heck, the behaviors that we come across allow us to be automatic sometimes, right? Like, you probably got that boss at work, right? That boss is probably a jerk. You might got the coworker that you just know you got to avoid, right? And so what do? Over time, we automatically assume it. Like, let's just skip the middleman. I don't got to bother saying hi to you. You ain't got to say hi to me. I don't like you. You don't like me. We'll go on like that. And we'll take a whole, like, vacation, right, away from work, come back to work, see the same dude that we got an issue with, that we had a problem with, and we're right back in the HabitLand. Oh, damn. Got to remember. I don't like him. Let me go back into that zone right now. Oh, got to remember. This is the bullshit job. Don't do that much work with here. All that is about HabitLand. Gotta remember, she's not really my wife. She's not really my girlfriend. She's just this on the side. I can be this way. All of that, guys, is HabitLand. Love it, hate it, it's HabitLand. We all experience it. So now, if HabitLand is useful, you know, well, what's the bad parts about HabitLand? And one last thing about HabitLand, guys, that I want to allow you guys to look at. HabitLand does this for us. Common trends. How often are we adopting a new trend into our lifestyle? Huh? Think about that for a minute. Or the trends that we grew up with in our community or in our families that now we're looking at and we're like, you know what? Yeah, I need to keep doing that for the rest of my life. Right? These common trends. I don't care if we're talking about dress. Maybe we're talking about your diet, right? There's always a common trend out that comes out with the diet. It's a new fad, if you will. Maybe it's about how you're working out. All of these things. Common trends. But that's what HabitLand does for us. It's automatic. It keeps us with the common trends, guys. Like, we get to stay current with a lot of things. Like, I don't care how old you are right now, for the most part, you know how to use a cell phone. You may not have a handle on every app. I mean, I got a good brother of mine, and this brother got a cell phone, and I almost wonder why he got it sometimes. Like, there's no texting, there's no app use. Like, it's strictly, like, for the reasons of a phone. I'm going to answer a phone call, and I'm going to make a phone call right now, right? But we all understand these things. So whether or not you know all the latest apps that come out, right? I ain't quite got with Snapchat yet, but hey, I know how to use a cell phone, right? I mean, heck, even my son comes to me from time to time like, Dad, you got to get up on this. You got to be a part of this, Dad. Oh, wait a minute, Dad. You want to get some more of your videos out? You should be able to, you should jump onto this right here. This is the next new trend that's coming around right now. Right? I mean, look, if you're in any type of business, you understand how to operate with some of the trends. So if I'm telling you guys that, look, HabitLand makes shit go faster for you, and it allows you to have common trends, and you can move and all, well, why is it so freaking bad? Well, let's talk about that. HabitLand has a couple weaknesses. First one is that you got to understand that you are now not an individual. Here's what HabitLand really is about, guys. Like, once you're in HabitLand. Like, I'll equate this the best way possible. I almost want to say like you're in the Matrix, if you will. Right? Like, you're just kind of still stuck in the pod in your own brain. Or maybe some of you guys are like old, like me. You might remember like Star Trek, right? Who remembers the Collective? Right? The Hive, right? All one brain operating together. No one was an individual at all. Right? That's part of the weaknesses that come out of HabitLand. So yeah, it's automatic and you're going to adopt the common trends, but now you're going to be in a place where you don't have a clear, you're not an individual. You don't have a clear identity. Guys, that's crucial. That's crucial in HabitLand. Here's the next part of HabitLand, guys, that gives us a weakness with it, okay? Next part up is that there is no choice. So yeah, I can be automatic, but I'm not going to be an individual. I'm just caught up in the rat race. How many of us are doing that, right? Like, keep in mind, we haven't talked about addiction this entire time. I'm talking about just regular people right now. That's the importance of all this. I think you ought to understand that, like, look, guys, this ain't about because I got a compulsive habit, just because this is part of what people go through. Every single person experiences HabitLand. There's no choice in HabitLand. You're sitting here going along with every common trend that's out right now. Like, and here's the best part about this. Well, I won't even get to that part yet, but I'm going to stick with no choice for a minute. And I'm going to be real personal about this one right here, right? Like, I don't know if I have any parents who are out there right now, but if you're a parent, maybe you can identify with this. You have children at home, maybe you're a caregiver, primary, custodial, I don't know, whatever the case might be. There are little ones around you to some degree, right? And especially if I'll get real personal, if you're coming from like a black community, let's be honest, discipline really happens like really one or two ways. Like, if you're in a black community, you've always made the jokes that says, I ain't putting my kids, this is wrong with them white kids right now. They get put in time out all the time. Nope, I grew up, no, what's the Bible say? Spare the rod, spoil the child. Spoil the child if you spare the rod. So what's that mean you got to do? You got to go out here and physically discipline your kids. And I'm not here to speak yay or nay to that at all. Be with your kids, discipline your kids however you see fit. Stay healthy with it. Make sure you ain't breaking no laws. It's the best I can tell you. But when it comes to me, guys, like, look, my kids will tell you, I got degrees in ass whooping. Like, not only did I earn my degrees and that, like, talk to my mama and daddy, but guys, when it came to me disciplining my children, it was automatic and part of the common trend to be able to say, well, how we discipline our kids, it don't really happen with communication. It don't really happen from taking away something. It's that you got to physically discipline them. Again, this isn't a right or wrong conversation, but it is a conversation for me to you that says, I thought like that for the longest, and then I said, what happens if I made a different choice? That's all it took was a different choice. You see, I made a different choice on how I chose to be with my kids. Like, I remember the last time I've had to physically discipline any of my kids. And I don't care, like, the only thing that's ever rang true about disciplining kids is that how you hear that part, and as a kid you doubt it. You're like, what the heck does that mean? That's some BS. But you hear that line that says, this is going to hurt you more than, no, this is going to hurt me more than it hurts you. Now, if you're the child, you're like, you're lying. There's no way this beating is going to hurt you more than it's going to hurt me. But as the parent, I actually experienced that. Like, I remember so clearly experiencing the pain that I went through in disciplining my kids in that fashion. I remember the emotional range I went through in that moment. I remember seeing everything from, the fear to the shame to the guilt in my kids' faces. And at the end of that, my kids got physically disciplined, and I'm expecting now that things will operate a certain way. And what I had to realize was that, no, that's my HabitLand talking right there. And guess what I did? I made one of the hardest decisions possible. A hard choice that says, what? I'm not going to discipline physically my kids anymore. And make no mistake about it, boy. I mean, I got 3 of them. 2 boys and a girl. My baby girl, okay, yeah, I'm wrapped. So she ain't never really have to worry about her daddy disciplining her. Now, 2 boys, on the other hand, again, I'm a boy. I was raised that way. That's the only way I knew how to deal with them. I'm going to beat you. We're going to have fun. We're going to eat. I'll take care of all the rest of the stuff. Well, now I talk to my kids. And I'm not saying that arrogantly. If anything, I'm saying that humbly, because that's not something I used to always do. As a matter of fact, when HabitLand was so rampant in my life, and all I knew was my labels and my roles and my compulsive habits to kind of keep me going through the day, well, it was nothing for me to walk in the house, scream at my wife, scream at the kids, smack, 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 and then send everybody to bed. Thinking that life was great. It was nothing for me in HabitLand, guys, to lose a job and turn around and not look at myself, but every fault of the people that let me go or why this didn't work out. Yeah, you know that's how, look, you know how them white folks do. Ain't nobody trying to sit up here and keep a brother employed. Really? One of the things that people always said about me was that, hey, George, I don't know how you managed to, but you always end up finding a job. So let me get this straight. I can always find a job. I can always get hired for the job, but I'm not always staying employed with the job. And the only reason I got to do that, like I can hold myself accountable for applying for the job. I'm going to give myself the credit for being hired for the job, but none of the other stuff comes my way when it comes to I'm losing the job. Doesn't make sense, does it? But in HabitLand, it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. Because again, we're operating not as an individual. We're dealing with common trends. We're dealing with being in an automatic society. Here's what's really important, guys, that I want you all to get out of this, guys. If you don't have any choice, here's the biggest thing I really want you to understand out this whole deal. Here's the biggest thing I want you all to get right now. No choice equals no power. Seriously, guys, let's take a look at that for a minute. Like, I don't know about you all, and it's not to say that I got to be like the world's strongest man all the time, but if you would have put me in a position where now I have no choice and now no power, what the hell does that make me? Guys, look, I want you to think about this from a real perspective right now. How many of you all are working a job right now where you say, I got no choice but to show up for work? How many of us might be in a relationship? Let's get deep with it right now, guys, because I ain't talking about addictions right now with you guys today. I'm talking about real things that us as men, as individuals, we go through. And we got to be real with these things. Whenever you realize you don't have a choice, you may not say it out loud because it sucks and it's going to hurt like hell for you to say it out loud, but you really just told yourself privately, I got no power. You ever have no choice in any situation, you have no power. And guys, I need you all to get that more than probably anything else out of today. If there's only one reason why you got to get out of HabitLand, forget about the rat race of common trends. Forget about making sure you see all your buddies and friends at the corner. Guys, get your identity, be an individual, and get some power. Choice leads to power. No choice, no power. I got no choice but to do. No, that's not the case. That's not the case. You see, again, HabitLand is going to tell us that, well, you know what? Common trends, we'll talk about employment right now for a second, right? Common trends will say that, well, you know what? The economy's not quite at a certain place. How long have we been hearing this story? Stay where you are. Don't you dare leave your job. It's not safe anymore. As a matter of fact, you need to go get that good government job. Get you some good government benefits going on right now. And don't get me wrong, in certain scenarios, that's going to sound really great. Like HabitLand, guys, I want to say this a part of tomorrow, but guys, HabitLand is awesome when you got to live with chaos. You see, guys, unfortunately, there are many ways people can get into HabitLand. But I need you all to understand that the biggest way people get into HabitLand is that they're experiencing some level of chaos, some level of lack of stability, something that is happening in their life, and they're saying, you know what, it's easier to check out and be automatic without me being an individual and stick to the common trends and just keep moving. Like, that's the safe game. And that's what HabitLand gets us. It gets us safe. But guys, as I learned in the call early today, as a couple of my brothers learned in the call that we had earlier today, safe ain't happy. Content ain't happy. Being above reproach responsible. It ain't always about being happy. And I need us to take a second to kind of step out of HabitLand, because we've been taught way too long in HabitLand that those two things are almost mutually exclusive. Like, happiness and responsibility can't coexist. Like, happiness, chaos, and choice can't coexist. Something has to give. I'm here to tell you guys, it does not have to give. Now, if you haven't caught on yet, I've been giving you guys a pretty constant theme here, right? I mean, yeah, we're talking about HabitLand and all, but here's something I really want to make sure that you guys get. Don't worry, we got a whole week of this stuff. Drop your questions. Hit me up on YouTube, Facebook, however you guys are getting this content. But here's what I really want you all to understand about HabitLand, guys, is that HabitLand is for all. Like, and I say that because I used to for so long think that HabitLand was simply just a place that addiction lies, where addicts dwell, if you will, right? I mean, hey, that's my background. I dealt with addictions, right? So I'm like, man, let me get out of HabitLand. And I got to tell you guys, I had this experience that happened to me. I mean, a lot of you guys may or may not know, but you know what? My family is now on the opposite coast, right? They're in Las Vegas right now. And what I realized was that in going through this process, especially this past week, you know, real short snippet of this, okay? Just so you ought to kind of get the picture of my mental frame in this moment, right? Of course, it was already going to be an emotional piece for me, even though I know I'm going to see my family again still. They go from being 400 miles away to 2,400 miles away. That's not an overnight drive kind of deal, if you will, right? So the emotions are running high, and I got the car loaded, and I got 2 stops. All I got is 2 things to do. I got to drop some stuff at the mailbox, and then I got to get my family to the airport. That's all I need to do. I load up the car, and car won't start. Wouldn't start. I've had some trouble with the car, so it's not like the world's biggest anomaly. I tried to get the jump, didn't happen. I got a portable jumper, wasn't working. My car stayed right there. And then within a short period of time, my wife and my kids are gone, like on an Uber or something, off to the airport. Guys, I'm literally stuck in a place I've never wanted to be. Like, I've grown to like certain parts of New York, but I'm not a fan of New York. I went there strictly just for my family. That doesn't say anything against any of my friends and followers and people that I know who are in New York, from New York. I love you! City, though. I need that to just... I'm a country guy. Anyways, so here I am. My family is gone to the place that is bringing them happiness. Here I am stuck in a place that, in the back of my head, was not a place of happiness. As a matter of fact, this place was like almost what I consider to be the byproduct of my previous HabitLand stay. Like, I gotta come here because I lost my family. I gotta come here because I did these behaviors, and now my family moved 400 miles away. And here I am, I'm stuck in this room that is empty with just a chair in front of me, and I'm just sitting here, and I'm just pissed. Can I tell you all that? I'm pissed. Like, I'm so pissed. Look, you ain't got to be a Christian, but guys, look, I'm having a curse-out battle with God at this time. How in the hell can you allow this to happen to me, of all people? And then that's when it hit me. And that's what was the greatest opportunity that I had, sitting there in that empty space, no TV, no nothing, that I realized that HabitLand is not just about people who are dealing with addictions and compulsive habits. HabitLand is for any and every single person who has a condition of their life they expect to always kind of be a mainstay without you ever changing it. So here I am, I'm expecting this condition of my life to change. I mean, I'm stuck in this apartment that I don't want to be in. And let me tell you that I literally was almost there, like tears in hand, angry, for almost 24 hours, stuck in the old HabitLand space that I used to be in that says, you know what? I just want to escape. I just want to leave. You know what? I deserve better than this. And then it hit me. I'm like, I'm not in my addictive phases, but I'm still experiencing HabitLand. Guys, even more clear to the point, my car is parked literally outside of the place that I need to be. So, again, I need you all to understand this. Like, this is how deep it was for me in understanding HabitLand. I'm literally stuck in a place with the means to leave out front, but it ain't going nowhere. And I need some of you all to take a moment and think about your life right now. Where are you at in each area of your life with your body, your being, your bonds, and your business, where you think you might be stuck someplace? The means for you to escape are literally right in front of the doorway, but you haven't taken the right steps to get it moving. Somehow you're expecting yourself to be like transported into the vehicle. You're expecting a magical touch to come down and to just touch it and make everything work out right, and you don't have any involvement in it. And that's not what HabitLand is, guys. Because why? It's not going to be automatic for you. And if it's not automatic, then it's just going to be about you. Like, this isn't about how the broken car happened for somebody else and they had a quick pickup. That's not what this is about. This isn't about how another guy was probably able to do and make more money to keep his family in New York. And that's not what this is about. This is about me as an individual. This is about my identity. And this is about me wrestling with the point where I'm like, I don't have any choice but to sit here. I felt like my hands were just so tied. All I could do was sit here. And that's when it hit me. I've been here before. HabitLand. I remember feeling so tied. Tied to responsibilities, to my labels, to my roles, to my family, that I didn't think that I was able to have a personal escape or that I could have some measure of an identity outside of all of that was here. And the reason that happens is I didn't put in the work. So, hey, George picks up the phone. Better yet, George got a phone call from this good bro, Trav. Thank you, bro. But I got a great call, and he kind of checked me on a couple things, snapped me out of HabitLand. We're going to talk about that later on this week, how we get out of HabitLand, helped snap me out, and then I was able to set up a plan. Because now I don't got to abide by the conventional means and common trends. I don't got to worry about what's automatic out here in life for everybody else. None of that kind of stuff, guys. Now, what I'm doing is saying, screw this with the no. Give me my power. And yeah, it seems small right now that the fact that my power was illustrated in the fact of being able to find somebody to come out in the rain, get my car started, get my butt on the road, and make it back home. But guys, I need you all to understand that there's a lot of you all who are stuck in HabitLand a lot more physically than figuratively. I had a figurative representation of HabitLand happen to me last week. But there are some of you all right now who are figuratively still stuck in it. You're stuck in HabitLand with your beliefs. You're stuck in HabitLand with your thoughts. You're stuck in HabitLand with the assumptions you have already come about your life, where you're like, there's no choice, this is what it's going to be, and there's no power built into it. So listen, guys, that's my time for today. This is only part one. We got a whole week of us breaking down HabitLand for you guys, leading up to the speech coming up. Any questions at all, you guys know what to do. Give me a call, 443-600-9169. Send me an email, drop me a comment, check me out on YouTube, guys. Either way, I need you all to practice this week identifying what's so damn automatic, what are the common trends that you're a part of, where you're not an individual and where you have felt you don't have any choice. Because you got to know where your HabitLand is. I love you guys. Remember, as always, kick ass. Peace.